Picture this. It's a Tuesday afternoon. You're at your desk, maybe scrolling through your phone on a quick break, and you see the email. It's an invitation for a coworker's retirement party. They're 65. There's a collection going around for a gift. And as you're reading it, maybe calculating in your head what's a polite amount to contribute. $20? $50? Something else happens. A thought, quiet but sharp, cuts through the noise. What about me? That's the moment. That's the wake-up call. It's not a loud alarm. It's a silent, cold knot forming in your stomach. Because you do the math, not even with a calculator, just a feeling. And the feeling tells you that when you're that age, there won't be a party. There won't be a collection. There might just be another day at work. If you've ever felt that, even for a second, then this video is for you. My name is Nick, and I make videos about the psychology of money, why we do what we do, and how we can build a future that feels secure, even when it feels like we're starting late. And before we go any further, if you're new here and this topic hits home, I'd be so grateful if you'd consider subscribing. We talk about real, often uncomfortable money truths here, but we always focus on the path forward. Your subscription helps this channel reach more people who might need to hear this message today. So let's talk about that person at the desk. Let's not call her a stereotype. Let's just call her Karen. Karen is 45. She's good at her job. She pays her bills. She's responsible. Life, for her, has been a series of very reasonable, very understandable financial decisions. She paid off her student loans. She helped her parents a few times when they were in a bind. Maybe there was a divorce, and that set things back. Then the kids came, and it was all about their activities, their clothes, saving for their college. The mantra was always, we'll catch up on our own savings later. And the career was stable, but the raises never quite seemed to outpace the cost of everything. So here she is, at 45, looking at that retirement party invitation, and the secret she's been carrying around, the one she doesn't say out loud at barbecues or coffee chats, is that she has nothing saved. The retirement account statements, they either don't exist, or the balance is so small it's almost a joke. Now, I want to be very clear about something. This video is not about shaming Karen. It's not about pointing a finger. It's about understanding what that reality actually means, psychologically and mathematically, because only when we stare right at it can we start to fix it. And more importantly, it's about proving that her story is nowhere near over. So what does happen at 45 with nothing saved? First, let's talk about the math, because the math is brutally honest, but we need to hear it. Let's say Karen wants to retire at 65 and have a modest bare-bones income of maybe $40,000 a year from her savings to supplement Social Security. Now, if she had started at 25, with 40 years to grow, she might have needed to save about $200 a month to get there, thanks to the insane magic of compound interest. But she's not 25. She's 45, she has 20 years. So to get to that same goal, she doesn't need to save $200 a month. She needs to save over $1,000 a month. Every month. For 20 years. Feel that? That's the weight of procrastination. That's the real cost of, I'll do it later. The math gets heavier and harder every single year you wait. But the real crisis isn't just in a spreadsheet. It's in her daily life. It's the loss of something precious. Optionality. At 45, with no savings, your choices vanish. The idea of changing careers, of going back to school for something you love, of taking a risk on a new idea, it feels impossible. It's not just a risk. It's a potential catastrophe. A single medium-sized medical emergency, a car breakdown, a leaky roof. These aren't inconveniences. They are existential threats that can spiral into debt you never climb out of. Your life becomes fragile, and you start picturing a future of quiet desperation. You don't picture retirement. You picture still working. At 70, maybe you have a job that's physically demanding because you need the health insurance. You become utterly dependent on a Social Security check that averages about $1,800 a month. You might have to rely on your kids for help, reversing the roles in a way that can feel heartbreaking. The independence you always assumed you'd have just evaporates. This is the worst-case scenario. This is the path if nothing changes. And it's a real valid fear. I'm not sugarcoating it. But here's the thing, and this is the most important sentence in this video so far. Karen has one massive, powerful advantage left. Time. Not as much as she'd like. Not the 40 years her 25-year-old self had. But 20 years is an ocean of time. It is enough time to change absolutely everything. The game isn't over. The game has just entered a new, more intense phase. And to win this new phase, we have to start with a total mindset shift. We have to debunk the most dangerous myth she's telling herself right now. The myth is, it's too late for me. Let's dismantle that, piece by piece. First, the compound interest story for the so-called late starter. We always see the graphs comparing the 25-year-old to the 45-year-old, and the 25-year-old wins. Of course they do. But that's the wrong comparison. It's demoralizing and it's useless. Here's a better one. Let's compare a 25-year-old who saves $100 a month for 10 years, and then life happens and they stop completely. They never save another dime. By 65, they'll have a decent chunk, sure. All from that early start. Now let's look at Karen. At 45, who feels hopeless. But she starts saving $500 a month. And she doesn't stop. She does it for 20 years right to 65. You want to know who has more money at 65? Karen. The 45-year-old who started late but was consistent and focused will absolutely crush the 25-year-old who fizzled out. This is the power of intensity over time. When you can't use a long, slow timeline, you use focus. You use a higher savings rate. You win with consistency. This leads to the most important shift, identity. Karen has likely spent years telling herself a story. I'm bad with money. I'm not a saver. I'll never figure this out. That story is a prison. We need to change the story. She is not bad with money. She is a person who, for very good reasons, prioritized other things. And now she is becoming a builder. Every single dollar she saves from this day forward is not a punishment. It's not a reminder of being behind. It is a brick. She is laying bricks for a foundation that didn't exist yesterday. She is a builder. Builders aren't behind. They are actively constructing. They see progress with every brick they lay. This is the ultimate financial grown-up moment. And it has nothing to do with deprivation. It has everything to do with self-respect and empowerment. It is the deepest, most profound form of self-care. You are finally saying to your future self, I see you. I value you. I am going to take care of you. And there's actual neuroscience to back this up. It's called the fresh start effect. Studies show that people are most likely to take positive, meaningful action after a temporal landmark. A birthday, a new year, a new month, a Monday. That panic Karen felt on her 45th birthday? That's not just fear. That's her brain's catalyst. It's a natural reset button. We can use that. Furthermore, so much of the anxiety comes from a vague, scary, unknown future. It's a cloud of dread. The act of simply making a plan, any plan, reduces anxiety dramatically. It's not even about the money growing yet. It's about the cognitive load lightening. You go from, I have this huge impossible problem, to, I have a list of 3 things to do. Your brain loves lists. It loves concrete steps. Let me give you a specific relatable example. Let's say Karen has a friend, Lisa. Lisa was in the exact same boat at 45. But Lisa didn't try to save $1,000 a month overnight. She knew she'd fail. Instead, she did one tiny thing. Every single year, during her annual performance review when she got her raise, she increased her 401k contribution by just 1%. Just 1%. If she got a 3% raise, she'd give 1% of it to future Lisa. She'd never even see the money in her paycheck. You want to know what happens? That tiny, painless change repeated every year creates a massive snowball. Because you're saving a percentage of a salary that's hopefully growing. In 10 years, she's saving 10% more than she started, without ever feeling a pinch. That's the power of small, automated decisions. Or, let's talk about finding the money. The immediate thought is, I need a side hustle. And maybe you do. But for most people, finding an extra $200 a month is often easier by starting a new river. Do a subscription audit. That's $15. Call and negotiate your internet or cell phone bill. That's another $30. Look at your insurance policies. That could be $50. Pack lunch 2 more days a week. There's another $40. You've just found over $100 without getting a second job. It's about being a detective in your own life, not a martyr. The mood shifts here. It lightens. Because we've moved from the overwhelming problem to the empowering path. Karen isn't behind some imaginary finish line. She is at her starting line. And the most important step is the first one. Not the biggest one. The first one. So let's talk about that first one. Let's get so practical and simple that not doing it feels harder than doing it. This is Karen's action plan, and it can be yours too. Step 1. The Stop the Bleeding budget. It sounds like a diet, so don't call it that. Call it a 90-minute money date with yourself. This week, block out 90 minutes. Get a cup of coffee, use a simple app like Mint or just a notepad, and look at your last 3 bank statements. Your goal is not to overhaul your entire life. Your goal is to find one leak. One subscription you forgot about. One recurring charge for something you don't use. One insurance policy you haven't shopped for in years. The goal is to find $50. Just $50 a month of money that's currently leaving your account without bringing you any real joy or value. This is found money. This is your first win. And a win proves that control is possible. Step 2. The set it and forget it attack. Now, you take that $50, or even half of it, and you make it automatic. If you have a 401k at work, you log into your benefits portal right now, today, and you increase your contribution by 2%. Don't overthink it. Just do it. You won't even miss it after 2 paychecks. If you don't have a 401k, you open a Roth IRA. I like Fidelity or Vanguard. You can do it online in 15 minutes. And you set up an automatic transfer from your checking account for $25 or $50 for the day after you get paid. Pay future you first. Automating this bypasses willpower. It makes saving the default. It's the single most powerful financial move you can make. Step 3. The future self-visualization. This sounds fluffy, but it's psychological rocket fuel. I want you to literally write a letter. Write it from 75-year-old you. Address it to present-day you. Have 75-year-old you thank present-day you for starting today. What do they get to do because you started? Do they get to live near their grandkids without being a burden? Do they have a small, peaceful garden? Can they travel once a year? Are they just free from constant money anxiety? Connect the dry, boring action of saving $50 to the vibrant, emotional payoff decades from now. It makes the sacrifice meaningful. Now, I can hear the objections. And they're valid. You might be thinking, but Nick, I have debt. Credit card debt. Shouldn't I pay that first? Yes and no. Here's the nuance. If you have high-interest credit card debt, that $50 you found should absolutely go to that first. Attack that debt with everything you have. But the habit, the ritual of the money date, the act of finding the money and directing it with purpose, that's the win. So you're not saving yet, you're building the muscle. Once the toxic debt is gone, you redirect that same payment to your savings. You've already trained for it. Or you're thinking, I need that $50, I can't spare it. Then start with $10. Start with $5. I am dead serious. The amount is almost irrelevant at this stage. What is critical is the ritual. It's about becoming the kind of person who pays themselves first. It's about the identity shift. Saving $5 automatically every month makes you a saver. Waiting for the day you can save $500 does not. Let's recap the compound effect for Karen now, on this new path. She's not going to save $1,000 a month. Maybe she starts at $50, then $100. Then $200 as she gets raises and finds more leaks. It's not the ideal textbook number, but in 20 years, that consistent effort builds into a pile of money that is hers. It provides security. It provides options. It provides the difference between desperation and dignity. That is the final transformation. Before Mindset Karen thought, it's too late. I'm doomed to work forever. I'm embarrassed to even look at my finances. After Mindset Karen knows, I'm a builder. I started with what I have. My future is becoming more secure every single month. I am in control. Your name isn't Karen, but if you felt that knot in your stomach, that quiet panic when you think about the future, that's your wake-up call. That's your temporal landmark, your fresh start. You are not your past financial decisions. You are not the sum of your excuses or your delays. You are the person who makes the next decision, the next one, and the one after that. So this week, have your 90-minute money date. Find your $50. Take your first step, however small it feels. The future you is waiting. She's out there in time, looking back at this moment, right now. And she is so grateful you started today.